Okay, good morning. I haven't done a flow state chat in ages, and that points me to what I'm going to talk about today, which is interference with the individual process. Now, individual process is a mutative, transformative energy that is usually doing something of its own volition, which the collective may not see any value in. And society may not look at that individual as doing anything useful. And the individual itself may not understand the use of its actions either. It's simply pushing into an area that is, yet to be homogenized or yet to be created as a routine that the collective adopts. So it's something mutative. It's always early, it's ahead. So it's not necessarily recognized or seen. And so with this individual energy, other people you will come across as an individual influence from outside of yourself, external influence, which attempts to kind of corral or put a stop to, or just, influence or interfere with the frequency, the vibration of that mutation, because it's scary. And people don't think they think it's scary. They don't know they think it's scary. They may not describe it like that. This is a genetic cellular response at a cellular level, which says, we don't want to mutate this area. Like, this is maintain the status quo. And so the highly individual and myself being in that category, occasionally, despite my own sense of conviction and my own personal power to, move with my sacral response and do what it is that I'm here to do against all odds, I will still be influenced by advice externally. For instance, YouTube has a certain algorithm, and if you want to do some research around how to get more views or participation or whatever, build your channel, then people will come at you with a whole lot of, criteria in terms of quality, which is fair enough. People want to spend their time watching anything, participating in a community space. I get it. They want to see high quality. You also would probably benefit with having some sort of structure, and really coming up with, key points of use, being useful. It's a great educational space. It's a great teaching space. But on the other hand, in human design particularly, what we're studying, and as a coach, what I am coaching people in, is how to maintain their own individual frequency and vibration. And when you maintain and are true to your unique expression, unfiltered, then it's not about quantity of people who recognize you, but the quality of the people that recognize you. And I have had people responding to my channel and to my unique way of expressing who completely get what I'm saying. They either understand it, or it inspires a direction that they will then take, something for them to respond to. And that is our electromagnetics, that is our connection, and that is what I'm here to transmit. I am the alchemical wordsmith. That is part of my design. And then I will get people who want to support me, or maybe they're curious, or we run into each other in some capacity. They go and have a look at my videos, and they don't understand what I'm saying. They don't really get what the point is, and it's confusing to them. And that is totally fine. That doesn't mean that I would necessarily change, per se, my approach. And this is where it becomes extremely difficult for people to maintain their own unique individual mutative like rudder and direction, because you have people who are trying to pull you off track or pull you into some type of you know, previously understood pattern, which would, there's a truck pulling up, yeah, which would potentially corrupt your own frequency, your own vibration, or the way that people might perceive you. And this happened to me on a couple of fronts with presenting to my YouTube channel. There, I kind of came to a bit of a halt with that, because I was influenced to look at a greater production level and do more planning. And I have many plans for greater production, but in the meantime, if I stop with my general transmission, then I'm only doing myself a vibrational disservice. And this is the empowerment aspect of the individual. And what the individual is here to do is to empower. Someone hit the car, it's fine. To empower the rest of the individuals, or anybody else for that matter, who like has the, I might have to edit this, we'll see. Someone's influencing my field. So, what am I saying? I'm at TAFE and somebody pulled up beside me, hit my car, and then proceeded to fuss about with their luggage. It's a teacher, someone with a badge. I am in the teacher's car park, and I'm a student, but I'm older, so I say this is just the older people's car park, right? Get back onto my individual thread. This is an empowerment, you know, speech, essentially. Like, my individuality and my commitment, my conviction to my values, to my mutation, to my transformation, and to filtering that into the field so that other people who are potentially individual mutants who are being affected, influenced, impacted, and, you know, corrupted by the rest of the field, who's like, hey, trying to pull them into line or trying to pull them into this other way of being, which is, you know, we've seen it before and we want you to do it this way. And the individuals, I see so many of them in my world who are very sick, and they become very sick because they don't have like the feedback of the brilliance of their uniqueness. And they're not given the space, literally, figuratively, physically, emotionally, creatively, not given the space free of influence, to just let them go through their transformational mutative process. Even if what they're producing is like a fucking mess. We look at, like, this is a material realm, cool, we look at things in a very material way, I get it. I'm not a super material being. I am and I'm not. I won't digress too much. But I look very much on the energetic and in that sort of natural, spiritual, plane of what is intangible, in a sense, like what can't be touched, but to advocate for the movement of energy, for the frequency and the vibration that we're all living in. So this is the Maya that we're living in, and the impact that our mutations have on the Maya. This is part of evolution, the evolution of the planet, the evolution of humanity, of consciousness fundamentally. And to use my voice and to use my capacity of knowing and understanding and awareness to empower other individuals to go back to their power, to go back to their line, to their lane, to their way of mutation without, with, I guess, maybe some protection mechanism around them that shields them from this influence. And so that is this is my empowerment speech for today. And this is who I'm really speaking to in my work with human design. I want to call them alchemical creatives and healers. These alchemical creatives and healers are people who are, usually treading their own path or wanting to live by those convictions, and are brave enough and courageous enough to step ahead of the curb and ahead of the crowd, and to do things their own way, and to be that empowered, mutative individual, and how to really, keep a backbone, I guess, and keep that shield up when people are really trying to influence and put you off course, essentially. So with that being said, I'm going to go off to my class. And I am available as ever for consultations. I'm doing a really fun service, which is super accessible. It's a very, very low fee, and I actually record you like your own podcast episode, essentially, that you can listen to. So we don't necessarily have to have a direct conversation. That enables me to get into my creative flow. Part of my mechanics is I can do assessment, analysis, and tune in through meditation, and then deliver, a way to bridge that information, but something that you can keep listening back to and get that frequency and fully absorb it, and re-listen to it. And you can definitely, obviously, you can record and keep face-to-face conversations. And I love to do those consultations as well. That's a different thing. So that's available as well. But if you'd like to just, I'm calling them rapid reads or personal podcasts. I'll just ask you a few questions in an email, and then based on your written responses to those questions, I will then do a podcast recording specially for you. So that's a minimum of a 20-minute recording and up to 1 hour. And so it's still very comprehensive for the person receiving, but it's quite natural and quite easy for me to produce. So I'm leaning into those ones, and they're kind of quick pops, and they're super accessible. $80. I know it's very, very, very low. And then you get I fully read the human design chart as much as possible in this episode for you, and weave in also some of the responses and the topics that you have in the email. So it's not less comprehensive, it's just, I find that quite a natural process, and I like the ability to kind of check what I say and to add things if I want to make it really impactful. All one-on-one consultations are there. I also have a Conscious Creative Flow course. The course is loaded up onto Thinkific, and you can purchase that. I forget how many chapters. There's either 9 or 13 or something around there, and all of the chapters are breakdowns on what I have used in the past for creative, like organizing myself into a creative flow state. So this is talking about very comprehensively of actual practical steps that I take, and how I look at things from that emotional or spiritual soul lens, and attributing natural expression to health very closely. So this is my whole angle is really about fortifying health, and the healthier that you are, the more where it's how alignment and health work together. So the best way that we can be healthy as individuals is individual to us. Again, that shows up in our human design chart. And then the better we can take care of our body, the more in alignment that we can be, the more that relationship between, being in the body awareness of the body's sensitivity and how we get to express ourselves fully. All of that is sort of synthesized and harmonized through human design. And that all comes through in the Conscious Creative Flow course. Although I lean more in the course, I lean more into my experience as a musician and an artist and a creative. And I don't talk about human design too much, except I make some links. But it is more about creative flow and my experience as an individual artist. All right, so the course is there. You can do a rapid read. You can get me one-on-ones as well. So take a look at my website, Natural Flow Alchemy, and speak to you again soon.